Today we're going to be listening to a broadcast from Radio Baghdad. It's called Iraqi Jack, and some say it never existed, but here it is.
To the American soldier in the Saudi Arabia desert, ask your friends about what had happened in Vietnam. The American soldiers' corpses are still lost in Vietnam after they had been eaten by worms. To the American soldier in the Saudi Arabia desert, would you like to be one of the crippled who are only lamented in the charity ceremonies? Do you want to go back home from the Arabian desert and you are psychologically broken? To the American soldier in the Saudi Arabia desert, it's a fixed fact that if the land is unknown for the soldier, he will be defeated. So why do you come to a land which you are not familiar with, its people and its nature? Fighters here do not hesitate to use anything to defend their homeland. There is nothing more expensive than peace. Live in your estate and let others live in their estate peacefully. Don't be fewer for the war machine. Your children are waiting for you. Your wife is waiting for you. You might have a lover. She is also waiting for you. Why are you killed?
I came across some American soldiers in Saudi Arabia who were listening to these broadcasts, and they found it quite funny. For several reasons, it was a little bit creepy in a way, some of the messages that were being said, but the music was 1940s, 50s jazz music, and these American soldiers were into hip-hop at the time. So it was something very strange that this propaganda was being beamed in. But I remember listening, I had a shortwave radio, that's how I recorded this, had a shortwave radio and a recorder, and picked the best time of day to record it, and recorded it in Saudi Arabia. The other part is the Voice of America, and that is directed towards Americans living in Kuwait who were trying to escape from Kuwait either to Baghdad to get flights out or to make a land journey. And the interesting thing about this is that it's a little bit chilling in a way, because this was the only message that was coming into these American tourists or American citizens. Some of them were diplomats or they were embassy officials. And this was the kind of official way to inform all these people at once, including the safety and the negatives about travelling. So here is that part of the Voice of America where they're talking about the escape of American citizens to either Saudi or out of the country, out of Iraq or Kuwait.
The following is a message from the State Department for U.S. citizens in Kuwait. The U.S. Embassy in Baghdad has been told by the Iraqi government that foreign women and children in Kuwait as well as Iraq will be allowed to leave. The requirements for obtaining the necessary exit permits, however, are unclear. The Department of State in Washington and our embassy in Baghdad are trying to clarify what is being required and to expedite departure procedures. We are concerned over the difficulties that would be faced by women and children attempting the drive to Baghdad unaccompanied by their spouses, and are urging the Iraqi government to facilitate the issuance of exit documentation in Kuwait City. We also hope to arrange for the orderly evacuation of women and children out of the country. You should continue to monitor the Voice of America for further instructions. Americans in Kuwait should know that the Iraqi military are still positioned around the embassy. If you need to reach the embassy, use the telephone. Do not attempt to go to the embassy compound. Americans considering an overland journey to Saudi Arabia should be aware that the trip would be long, arduous, and possibly dangerous. As we have previously stated, Iraqi forces are under orders to round up anyone identified as an American citizen, and at least one person has died attempting to cross. Individuals do continue to make their way out of Kuwait, but there can be no guarantee of safety. To all Americans in Kuwait and Iraq, we know these days require courage and great strength. We are with you, and our efforts will not stop until you are safely home. You've been listening to an advisory from the U.S. State Department.
Thanks for watching. Consider clicking the like button or subscribing. Goodbye.